Good evening, everyone. Gary Gabagool here, my boy Sal, for the Red Podcast 41, coming to you on a Monday night. We're coming in to some Bob Marley. We figure we get some...
Going into Exodus, because you guys haven't noticed, people are leaving liberal blue states in masses.
In droves. So we have to acknowledge our boy Squishy. I don't know if you can see him over Sal's back, but our boy Squishy decided to join the podcast with us, chilling out. And basically, we're going to start off with the title of this is Marching for Ignorance. So it was kind of funny. I saw... And I always like these. I know some people don't like them, but I love them. I love when men, they call it like men or women on the street, when they walk with just like a microphone and they have one guy following with a video camera, and they talk to people at these protests. And basically what happens is it highlights the insanity and ignorance that all these rallies often attract on the left. Yeah. So I'll give you an example. At this women's march on Saturday, I saw an interview about 12 women. So the guy, he was pretty fair. He wasn't skewing the report one way or the other. He's asking why they were there. So he was like, "Why are you here?" And she's like, "Anti-Trump." Well, what specifically don't you like about him? Everything. So he's like, "Can you be more specific?" And she's like, "Oh, everything he does." And the guy's like, "Well, that's kind of like nebulous. Can't you like?" No, we just don't like anything. And it was really, really hilarious to see.
Sorry, just making sure. That's not Dempsey move the camera.
It was just hilarious to see all these people just acting. And then there was two women with purple hair, and they were carrying signs, "Kill Trump, kill Pence." And they came right out and said it. And the guy's like, "Listen," and she's like, "I want a socialist communist utopia, man." I'm like, these are just complete assholes who have no business even being in public. Someone should have ripped their heads off of their shoulders. They were morons. But the question I have, and I had a discussion, I think I mentioned it yesterday on Facebook. I met my boy Jimmy at the coffee shop, and I didn't say anything. Usually Jimmy and I don't talk politics very much, but he mentioned to me, it was really crowded. So he mentioned to me about the Women's March and how ridiculous it was. And these three women next to us chimed in and said they were in Morristown for the march. And they got real bent out of shape. And my friend Jimmy kind of said, he was kind of nasty. Like, we weren't talking. Why don't you mind your business? And my boy Jimmy's kind of a big dude. And
no, he's right though. You don't try.
Yeah, and he's like, I'm talking to my buddy. Why don't you mind your business? We didn't ask you anything. And so then I kind of said, tell me what you guys lost in the last year since President Trump's been. I go, you lost abortion? I said no. You lost birth control? I said no. You go down to CVS, get whatever you want. I said, you lost jobs? You lost your no. I was like, so what are you even talking about? And they got so frustrated because then I started hammering them that they decided just kind of pay their bill and walk out. And my friend Jimmy's like, "Get the hell out of here!" It was kind of funny because he was abusing them. So I kind of thought it was funny.
Serves them right. You shouldn't be coming into other people's conversations.
Exactly.
Especially if you're going to spray out nonsense that people are going to counteract.
Of course, I think they expected everyone just to kind of
that's probably every man in their life.
Exactly. And that's exactly what
they bitch down, they cower down.
They probably have men that they slap around like the little months they are, and whatever the woman says, they do. And you're not used to getting any type of reasoning. I see it all the time.
That's just the problem with men today.
It's
I plan on getting into men, women, and relationships farther on in the show because I'm going to go off for probably about 40 minutes. But men, just know it's our fault. It's all our fault that women are like this today. Trust me. And I love women. I was raised by 3 of them.
Yep.
So I'll get into it a little bit later. We're gonna hit home some of these topics first.
Yep. Yeah. So go ahead. Go on your thing, and then
another part with the protest, the marching. I saw a video. Come on, Demps. I saw a video of the guy he's like, look at all these people marching. He's like, if Trump wasn't in office, they wouldn't have this, they wouldn't have this, they wouldn't have this, They wouldn't have this. And then somebody not even marching, someone just spectating the march.
Right.
Was like, I don't like your attitude, man.
Right. Yeah.
You're such a and he goes, what did I say that you didn't like, man?
Right.
And the guy was like, and it's such a bad it was a bad example because the guy was with his son and the guy it was Owen. It was a video of Owen Schroyer.
Right.
Did you watch? I don't know if
I didn't see it, no.
And he's just like, what did I say to you that made you so upset? He's like, what am I saying that's wrong? And the guy's like, I can't, no, you're just a piece of shit. You know that? Blah, blah, blah. And then as we're walking away, he yells to the kid, he's like, don't worry, son, you'll be better than your dad.
Yeah.
And it was just so fucking amazing.
Well, it was weird because the one thing that, go ahead. The one thing on this video that I watched is, believe it or not, there's quite a few men there, which I was shocked. And the men were like, I don't like conservatives and conservatism. And you're looking like, dude, you're a pussy, man. You're like a homo. Excuse my language. We act like one, and I don't mean that in a sexual way. I mean that as a man who completely is emasculated and can't act like a man. Let's be honest.
What it is, I've noticed with these, like, we'll talk about men being in these marches, liberals and men, these liberal men and women. They all have this thing in common where they don't understand context. Right. They just don't understand the things that you say to them. They focus on one or two words that they don't like, and that's what they go on in any situation.
Yeah, they don't take the whole thing into account.
Yeah. And it's just like, this is the reason we have these problems, because people aren't listening to each other.
I think basically we're at a point in 2018 where there's such a great divide between normal thinking people, and like we always say, Sal and I have been saying this since podcast 1. And a lot of people on Facebook tell me, and they're absolutely right, liberalism is basically a mental disorder. No different than dementia, no different than Alzheimer's, no different than bipolar. It is a mental disorder, because I find it incredibly comical that if you sit across from a liberal, not all of them, not 100%, but a large portion, and you try to have a discussion, just like Sal just mentioned, they take a word that you say and they flip out. For example, I was in Facebook jail all week. I didn't get out. I started on Monday morning. I didn't get out till late Thursday night, maybe Friday morning. And they sent me a notice saying that people didn't feel safe about my posts, and people wanted it to be spam. So I got bounced. And honestly, I think there was a gentleman on there who was calling me all sorts of racial slurs, which don't bother me. They never did. I don't care if you call me a whopper guinea. I find it comical. It's something that I'm more secure with my ethnicity. I'm very proud of it. Now, it's different if you're in front of me and then, and you disrespect me, then we're going to have a problem and you're not going to do well. I promise you that. But on a Facebook post, I find it humorous. I laugh. But then the guy's going in and calling me all sorts of names, calling me he's going to kill me, all this stuff. And I went back and I think I called him. I said, you're nothing but like a keyboard commando, like a sissy faggot. And he reported me, and that's what came up.
Well, the liberals, to me, now, I don't know if this is other people too. I think other podcasts I went into, I was like, you hear words, and it just triggers this thought in your mind of something else.
Right.
Now when I hear liberal, it triggers bitch in my mind.
Yeah.
It's synonymous with the word bitch to me. Like,
to a man.
Yeah.
Yep. Silly bitch.
Silly I even think women think that too.
Yeah.
You hear the word liberal, they're like, what are these silly bitches doing? Like,
right.
It's like, they can't come at you in a one-on-one conversation.
No.
They're only in the power of the group.
Correct.
They're just socialist babies.
Yeah.
They need to go find their own first path and walk down it, because they're just walking down other people's paths and they're going to lead them right into shit.
Right. And the one thing on the march, and then we're going to switch topics, but I found it funny that liberals at these women's marches always grasp onto these Hollywood elitist assholes. And now, and I said this from the beginning, like, you have to understand something. These people who came and spoke at the podium at all these marches all over the country. I saw one in Utah. Jane Fonda was there. I saw one in Hollywood. Eva Longoria and Scarlett Johansson were there. These are all the dopes that knew what was going on with Harvey Weinstein and did absolutely nothing. Not only they did nothing, they condoned it. They supported it. They had other people thrown under the bus, other women thrown under the bus. And as they're talking about women's issues, something always comes to mind. How come children's issues aren't important to these individuals? How come little boys being raped by Hollywood producers that they know or being molested don't seem to come up on their radar? They seem to forget all that stuff. Let me tell you something. It's a lot. And we could talk about the Kevin Spaceys, all the directors. I think we talked about like maybe 8 podcasts ago. There was a video or a documentary watched about a massive amount of filmmakers who just abused boys under the age of 10. And they don't say shit about them people because they are complete hypocritical trash bags. I'm going to say one thing else, and then I'm going to let Sal go. I'm going to look in the camera. I'm going to say this to people. Making a movie is one of the easiest jobs any individual can do. Sal can be an actor. I can be an actor. Anybody can be an actor. And I'll tell you why they can be an actor. Because if you fuck up, you get to do it again. And sometimes these morons...
Take 2.
Yeah, sometimes it's take 10 or 15. And here's my thing. What I do for a living, if I'm not on, I get one shot live. No preparation. I mean, I'll get... in my line of work, they call it an elevator discussion, meaning I'm in a surgery. I leave the surgery. I go in the elevator to go either to my car or to another case, and I bump into a surgeon in there. That moment, I got to try to get that guy. He could be important to my business. I have 30 seconds to make an impact, or I'm screwed. I don't get no take 2, take 3. And these actors, they're in the mindset. They actually think this is real life. Like when you watch these guys like Ben Affleck or Matt Damon, they actually, or like George Clooney, they actually think they're tough when they play a tough guy on the screen.
Right? I pick on this silly bitch is so often Jennifer Lawrence.
Yes.
You see she has a new movie coming out. What it is? She's a Russian spy.
Yeah.
What you just said, they actually believe the nonsense that they act.
They think it's real.
She's like, oh, I know all about Russian spies now.
I watch
Trump is one of them.
Yeah.
It's just like, you're an actress. Like, what are you talking about? How do you have anything to say politically? That's
and you read other people's. Listen, are so dumb. Actors are so stupid. They can't even make up their own things to say. They have to read somebody else's things. They have they're literally dummies. And so what happens with these guys or these women that makes me nuts is they actually start believing that their fraudulent roles they play are actually true. And they start thinking in real life they're tough guys, or you're a Russian spy, or like it's a role that's fake. That's why you know what's funny? These guys think they're tough guys. They can't even do their own stunts. Very few do. And the ones that do are probably Republicans, like Stallone or Jackie Chan. I said, other than that, Chuck Norris. These guys don't even do. Sometimes I hear they don't even like have to do it, fall down like 3 stairs, and they get someone to do it for them. It's a joke. So that's all I can say about these people. And they knew about Harvey Weinstein, and they said nothing. And the only reason why it came out was because he was finally caught. If he never got caught, they wouldn't even be talking about it today. And all these shitheads would still be playing the role of acceptance, supporting, and watch women getting abused by this fat ass Jabba the Hutt scumbag that is a piece of garbage. Anyway, but I went on. That's my rant for these idiots.
Yeah, that's good.
I hate Hollywood to death.
I can go a little bit further too with that Scarlett Johansson girl.
Another moron.
Nonsense with James Franco. Like,
yeah,
come on. I won't get into it.
Wait, tell me, because what was she criticizing James Franco?
No, she praised him.
Oh, she praised him.
And then it turns out, he's like a rapist and all that.
Yeah, oh, yeah. There you go. Yeah, now.
So it's like all that.
Did she take it back?
I can't honestly. I was sent the story. I didn't read it. I was just.
I just find that funny.
I think that she's. Like, she lost a lot of and this isn't to be fucking misogynist or anything like that. She lost a lot of respect to me because she had that breast reduction.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
You're taking away the number one attribute you have, and I'm not being this.
Right.
That's what got you to where you were, and now you're. It just bothers me.
I'll tell you why.
I
didn't even know I never knew she had a breast reduction. I'll tell you what pissed me off about Scarlett Johansson. It was one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life. There was a woman who was interviewing her, and as Scarlett Johansson's coming out, she has this crowd of people around her, and I think she was marching for wealth distribution of American people. So she's going on. So the girl, I have to admit, the girl was great. The girl was a very sharp reporter, and I love the way she did this. She complimented her on her past role, and she, of course, Scarlett Johansson was like, "Oh, thank you! Like this girl's kissing my ass." And she got her. And I always say she got her she was like a peacock. Scarlett started spreading her feathers out a little. Then the second thing was like, "Oh, I saw your speech last night at the Academy. It was phenomenal." And she was like, "Of course, thank you." And then she goes, "Wait," she goes, "In your last movie, Scarlett, didn't you make $18 million?" And Scarlett Johansson kind of ignored it. And she's like, "Wait a second, Scarlett, you're into wealth distribution." She goes, "But did you give that $18 million you make? Did you give it to the caterer, or the girl who did your hair, or the girl who did your makeup, or the girl who cleaned up the garbage?" And Scarlett goes, "I have no time. I got to go." And she pushed the girl out of the way and scooted off. And I'm like, these people get away with such hypocritical bullshit. And because Hollywood kisses their ass in these talk shows, they go on these late night talk shows with these complete buffoons like Colbert and Kimmel and Seth Meyers and his other jerk offs. they're so used to getting their ass kissed. The minute you come out against them, and I guarantee you this, they only have friends around them who kiss their ass. If you have any of them that, hey, listen, normal people like us, if we have a friend who fucks up, or if I fuck up, a friend of mine will say, dude, you fucked up. And you're like, yeah, I did, man. I apologize. These people, if they had a person like that, they would defriend them like a Facebook person and just get rid of them. They want people telling them, because they're so insecure and they're so thin-skinned and sensitive. They want people telling them how great they are all the time.
Always.
And it's always tied to probably to some financial means where they have these people on their payroll or they're asking you to do stuff or give them a job. And they just have that.
It boils all down to self-esteem.
Exactly.
It's low self-esteem.
Low self-esteem.
Silly
insecurity.
That's what it is. All right. You have something special you want
No,
to
go
go
ahead.
into?
Let's go. I got a lot of stuff.
So I saw in the National Review this week that they were saying Trump is common-sensically, and I don't even know common-sensically is a word, but that's in air quotes, is undoing all of Obama's legacy piece by piece. And they're not opposed to it. They're like, this is a good thing.
Okay, good.
Like he's actually he's giving the country back to the people.
Right.
He's lowering taxes where Obama,
correct,
hiked them up to
this is a good
absurd proportions.
I didn't know you were going to talk about this, but this is great. So go ahead, do your thing, and
that was my little feeder to get you going.
Well, it's funny. I saw a great video at CNN. I couldn't believe CNN actually ran this, but they did. They were in Youngstown, Ohio, which was decimated with manufacturing or the lack thereof by Obama. So the way they kind of prefaced the video was, we're in Youngstown, Ohio, a city that's decimated by no manufacturing, blah, 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 blah. Then you see a CNN host there with about 8 common people. And I got to give CNN credit for one thing. It was a very good sample of people from town. There was like a guy who was in the union, a guy who was a manufacturing worker. There was a female student, happened to be black. There was a guy who worked at a plant. He was another black guy. Then there was a couple white people. There was a housewife, a white woman. And he gets on there and he says, Youngstown was destroyed and it still is not being built up. And do you blame Trump for that? And one of the guys goes, what are you talking about? He goes, this was destroyed by the prior 8 years of democratic leadership in Obama. And the guy's like, whoa, it's still not doing good. And the guy's like, well, no, that's not real. That's not right. So long story short is all these people, this guy, CNN reporter, he was actually trying to skew the responses. Like in lawyer terms, you call it leading the witness. He was like, oh, but don't you think Trump's a racist? And this black girl goes, no, absolutely not. I met Donald Trump and President Trump. He was phenomenal. He walked by me. She goes, he could have walked right by me, ignored me. He took the time to talk to me and ask me what my issues were. And then another guy who was a black guy goes, no, Donald Trump, I was at the same rally, and he came up to me and he told me that he was going to, open up a manufacturing plant here again and try to get jobs. And then another one was talking about the wall. And Youngstown, Ohio doesn't care about illegals. And they all chimed up, yes, we do. We don't want them here. They're taking our jobs. It was hilarious to watch these people who they thought were going to be anti-Trump, pro-CNN, just basically block by block, just crush their whole story.
Especially,
go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. Especially, this is just stupid. But anyway, when black people, especially when they talk about themselves, what do they call themselves? African Americans,
right?
Not African Canadians,
correct?
Not African Englanders,
right?
Everywhere in the world, they're African Americans. They know this is the place, the right place.
Of course.
Yeah, they might have got here a little fucked up.
Yeah.
But now this is the only place for them to be that can give them what they want.
Right. And it was. I just thought that's very telling when you watch one of these, because I love the way these CNN, CNBC announcers they always whenever they get
anti-American.
Right. Well, they're anti-American. Whenever they don't get the answer they don't want, they try to always say, yeah, but and I got to say, for these 7 or 8 people that were on this panel, they were all phenomenal. It was amazing. And then this one woman was like, what do you give every person? What do you give Trump? A+, thumbs up. He's doing great. He's making things better. And the guy was completely shell-shocking. When it was done, he was like this. He was like, I can't believe these people. Middle America is messed up. It was quite comical.
A lot of the stuff I have now is a lot of social stuff. So you want to get more into the real meat, because I'm gonna get off track.
All right. You know what I was going to talk about, Bernie Sanders today. and this whole government shutdown. It was funny because one of this Republican congressman came on the floor today, and he was talking about the hypocrisy of the left, and he specifically called out Bernie Sanders. And so he went and he goes, this is a quote from Bernie Sanders. And Bernie Sanders basically said that, the Republicans in 2013 were looking to destroy the country and put all these people out of jobs, blah, blah, blah. So after he says this, he's on CNN. And I don't know who the reporter was, some clam that was on there, some jerk off. And Bernie Sanders basically said, whatever the guy's name was, he used his first name, because I guess that's a tactic that he does, like make sure like he's a buddy with him. And he says, that's a total lie, a complete and utter lie. Congressman Mulvaney or whatever his name was is lying to you outright. And the guy's like, yes, you're right, Bernie. Congressman Sanders, you're right. And as soon as it's over, they attach the video, not CNN, the person who did the video, attached to Bernie Sanders on the Hill in 2013, and he said exactly what this Republican congressman said to a T, because the guy Mr. Rhett wrote it down word for word. And you're sitting here going, wow, a CNBC reporter, a CNN reporter had to do his homework and know, wait a second, I'm interviewing Sanders, and he lied. Instead, he's like burying the video, and it just goes to show you what a piece of shit liar that Bernie Sanders is. And even when it was funny, even to see his demeanor when the guy, because the guy reiterated what this Republican said, Bernie Sanders' face got all red, and he was kind of like, that's ridiculous, Dick. I never said that. Mulvaney's lying, and he knows he's lying. And then the video shows, and it shows him there, and he's pontificating this whole thing about what he didn't say.
That's what he, looking like Frankenstein. We'll get to.
Correct.
He's that Phil Spector.
Yeah.
That's what he looks like. That old Phil Spector. Look, Google search Phil Spector so you can see that crazy.
I always think he looks like Weekend at Bernie's, the dead guy.
No, he's shot. Is my point. The dude is shot. He can't even remember 3 years ago.
Maybe, yeah. And it's funny because this is the guy they want to be president. This old crusty douchebag.
I can't stand him.
I hate him. And it's funny because this is how liberal hypocrisy went. And I said this once before, and I'm not a John McCain fan. I can't stand him. But when he was running, and they should have been happy he's running because he's basically a Democrat. But when he was running, the first thing they all said was, oh, the Republicans got an old, crusty white guy half dead. And then I laughed because 4 years later, or 8 years, what did they have? An old, crusty white guy is half dead. And then he was cool, though, because he had a D next to his name.
They're going to be pushing that female Obama as hard as they possibly
can.
Yeah,
well, now.
Kamala Harris.
Exactly. I can't stand
who
it.
They will be pushing hardcore. But Bernie Sanders ain't going down without a fight. Mm-hmm. That's what's going to make it fun.
He's
going to make it really fun.
Well, the DNC will get rid of him again. Just like
they're going to cannibalize themselves like usual, and Trump's going to win. But, God, they're horrible people. And I saw this week that the NCAA was jumping into the social justice thing.
God.
Did you see this?
Yes.
They said that MLK's vision, this because we haven't seen you guys in 10 days. Sorry about this. It took a little bit. But the NCAA said that MLK's vision can never be fully achieved without fixing global warming.
Wait a second. MLK didn't even know global warming existed.
When I saw the headline, I almost peed myself. I was laughing so hard.
Wow. So
that's how, it's basically just have a headline and be truthful, saying, give us money. Please give our organization money. Please fund us. That's all they need to do. People will give them money. It's amazing, right? It's so crazy.
It's funny because it's gotten to the point where now foundations of sports like NFL, and we talk about this all the time. I'm not going to be, but these now the NCAA, ESPN, I can't even stand to hear these people talk. They're such morons. It's ridiculous what they talk about. I mean, that's why their ratings are in the tank. And I will guarantee you, mark my words, next 2 weeks from now, the Super Bowl will be the lowest rated Super Bowl in the history of all football.
They're hoping that the Patriots and Boston people bring it up. But
that probably be about it. But also,
that won't even help.
The commercials will be the cheapest ever. Like I know. Remember they did $1 million for 30 minutes. 30 seconds. I'm sorry. 30. It won't even be close. I guarantee you that. But go ahead.
To go off that point, well, just to be frank, I hate Philadelphia. I hate the fans. I hate the Eagles. I hate pretty much everything Philadelphia. I don't go to Philadelphia. The people there suck. But there was this really funny social justice thing that came up this morning. There was Minnesota Vikings fans there, of course. People travel to these games.
Yeah, I saw it.
Did you see?
They were throwing shit at them and bombing them with stuff.
When those Minnesota fans got back, they went to local TV to they were so I wanted, of course, outraged, but they were so surprised. I wish I'm not finding the right word. They were surprised that they're shocked that the Eagles fans were that brutal towards them. Right. We thought because we were losing so bad that they might feel no,
they got worse.
Yeah, they started rioting. Listen, of course, it's gonna get worse. But I just love it. I'm like, what do you? I'm sorry, are you fucking retarded? Do you not think that Philly people, the most evil people in the world, are not gonna go at you?
Hey, listen, I'm gonna say this. This is going to be
sorry if you're from Philadelphia.
No, we have a lot of Philadelphia people. And listen, I don't watch football, so I don't care about the Eagles. However, I've talked about this before. I'm not saying the people who watch this from Philadelphia are like this. However. I have been to several, not by choice, because I was in Philadelphia for a convention. My boss got tickets and said, "Come on, we're going to watch it." But I went to a Philadelphia Eagles and Detroit Lions game back in the day. Barry Sanders, I was going to say Bernie Sanders. Barry Sanders was retiring that day. It was his last game. Yeah, Bernie Sanders was playing for the Lions. He broke a hip. So. We were there, and here's the funny part about it is the game meant absolutely nothing. I think if you go back and look at that year, I think the Eagles were 5-10 going into the game, and the Lions were even worse. They were 4-11. And we sit down, and me and my boss are there, and there's some guys, and I was dressed normal. He was dressed normal, like jeans and a flannel on or whatever. And in front of us comes a gentleman with his 6-year-old little girl. This girl was about this big, and she had a Barry Sanders jersey on. And as she's walking, I hear some rumblings in the back. And then they sit down, and over our head comes beer cups that they press and are throwing it at this little girl and cursing at her. And I turn around, and I could not believe my eyes. A whole row of grown-ass men in their 30s were berating this little girl. And I'm the father was outraged, but he's by himself. And me and my boss at the time wasn't really going to do anything. But I remember turning around to these guys and yelling at them I couldn't even believe that I know they were wasted, but normal thinking people will not harass a 6-year-old. It's lunacy. But to Sal's point, I was watching the video yesterday, and they were throwing shit at these people walking and flinging beer bottles. And I'm that's called assault. You can't throw a beer bottle at somebody walking by you. And I know, and I'm sorry, Philadelphia, it's true. You're the only stadium in America, I believe, that has a jail and a judge in your basement.
They used to, the old stadium.
And because
the old Giants stadium used to have that too.
Oh, I didn't know that. But I can honestly say Philadelphia fans, I'm sorry, guys, Eagle fans, and probably Flyer fans are out of their minds. You take the game way too seriously. They never won.
That's what happens when you never win.
Yeah, they're miserable. But no disrespect to if you're an Eagle fan, you're normal. We're not talking about you specifically. But
I've got to meet one. Sorry.
Yeah, you have to admit not too long ago, I think from Jersey there was a New York Ranger fan. He was a cop, and him and his buddies. I think the Rangers housed the Flyers that game. After the game, they went to a bar in Philly for a drink. He had a what do you call it? He had a Ranger jersey on. His buddy went to go take a leak. He got cracked with a bottle of booze behind the head, which almost killed him. And
people are sick.
It's crazy that people get so into sports. I always have a theory about men who get all jerseyed out, paint their faces, grown men, and then I'm not talking about kids. I'm talking about adults. And then they go there and get drunk and act crazy. Is that they're living so vicariously through these sports guys? They act like they're actually playing on the team, and because they were such losers in high school that could not compete at a level that other guys, they're complete fools when they act like this.
I try to break a lot of things down to happiness, and those people are just not happy people. They're trying to find happiness in all the wrong places.
Yeah. When you take a sport so seriously where you want to injure another guy because he roots for the other team, something's wrong with you.
Yeah, it's
mentally.
It's a deep-seated unhappiness. It's
Yeah.
all like, I mean, yeah, it's a case by case, but I'll just tell you, overall, they're not happy people.
No, it's funny that when I see this, but yeah. So but mark my words, it will be the worst rated Super Bowl of all time. And here's my thing: you can't compare it to Philadelphia, New England. That's irrelevant because those, of course, are the cities represented. But take those numbers out of the mix because I will guarantee you get very high ratings in those two cities. But you take the rest of the country, it will be the lowest rated Super Bowl of all time. I promise you. And the NFL will be crushed by it because this is their big showcase where they make a lot of money, they rob a lot of stations and a lot of consumers, and they will not do well. I will guarantee it. Matter of fact, without a doubt.
So the World Economic Forum is this week, I think.
Mm-hmm.
It's supposed to be going. I think Davos, Switzerland just had like 8 feet of snow, so they're having a tough time.
Yeah.
But what exactly is going on there? What do you know? What they talk about? I'm not sure. I know it's called the Davos World Economic Forum. I don't know what the hell they talk about.
I think
it's like another Bilderberg. Right?
Yeah, I think what they do is they probably try to figure out when they put their heads together in a skull session how they can rob more money from the rest of the world. That's really what they do. I think that's my take on it. But,
like Trump wants to go talk there. He wants to go talk at this forum, but they're like trying to like stop him and ban him.
Because he's not part of the little game.
It's one of those things where they can only say it; they can't really physically stop him from doing it. So if he wants to do it, he can.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens. As far as that, we'll keep an eye on it. We'll talk about it. So I think it'll be interesting to see what they talk about. Because I wonder how the media will kind of portray that. And it's funny because CNN and CNBC will portray it one way. And they'll probably say stuff like, "Oh, Trump's not allowed to go," and whatever the case may be. But we'll see how the truth really comes out. Because I don't know. But I don't know if you saw this. It was kind of funny on Meet the Press and one of these, or Face the Nation, one of these things. There's a Democratic congressman out of California. His name was Adam Schiff, and he comes out there, and they were talking about, the documents that need to be released, the FISA documents, and he said this. Now think about the level of arrogance this statement, you need to make this statement. He said to the host, the FISA documents shouldn't be released to the public because unfortunately they just won't understand them. And I started laughing. I'm like, wait a second. Now it pisses me off because of course he wasn't written by the reporter. He kind of let him slide. But I would have said to him, Congressman Schiff, first off, do you think you're so much more intelligent than the average American? I would have put him on the spot. And then whatever he answered, I would say, wait a second, too. You think the likes of Nancy Pelosi, Sheila Jackson Lee, Maxine Waters, Chuck Schumer, Bernie Sanders, Obama, do you think those people are more intelligent? Because I'll tell you, they're morons. Listen to them talk.
When people say that, they just won't understand. That's exactly what your point is. They think that we're too stupid.
Right. They think for some reason, they
have a moral superiority,
exactly,
like we've been saying.
Exactly. They think they're intellectually elitists. And I laugh at these people because you hear them talk, they can't put 2 sentences together about stuttering or having a script or reading off a teleprompter. Or they say the most outrageous, outlandish things that make 0 sense. And they lie through their teeth with a straight face on. So I always said my dream, it hasn't happened yet. My dream is to get in a room with a video camera with any of these people we just talked about and have a physical debate one-on-one with any of the one of the ones I just named. Hillary Clinton, Obama,
they would run.
They would run because I would crush them in 3 seconds because I know their shit before they're going to say it. And I don't need no fucking script. I could talk for an hour, just like we're talking to you guys now, and I don't need to. I can look at one word and go and riff on it for 20 minutes. They will fold like the house of cards because they're intellectually moronic. They're stupid. They're not smart anymore. They've been spoon fed for all of their life. They don't have a thought in their brain anymore. You can see it during these during the debates. When someone just asks them off the cuff, they start to panic. They need everything scripted out for them, like these fucking actors who are worthless.
I love it. It's such a great synopsis. Oh man, This
is another thing that I'm shocked that no one's reported yet, and I found it. I was searching through and I found it, but basically, Julian Assange of Wiki said he was going to come out with this information. He didn't come out with it yet. So guess what? Guccifer and Anonymous said they couldn't wait for Julian Assange anymore. So what they released was in 2009 when Barack Obama came out with the bailouts for the banks. They released the financial records, and they have it's outrageous, guys. I'm gonna try to post it on Facebook. This is when I wish I had a video monitor. They listed exactly the financial records of the DNC and the Clinton Foundation and the TARP funding. And what they said was the TARP funding and then the amount of money that got funneled to the DNC. So think about this, people. Our money that they took to bail out the banks were given right to the DNC and the Clinton Foundation. It was hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars they used to fund the re-election of Barack Obama, which failed, and Hillary Clinton, which failed. And you say to yourself,
and they borrowed the money.
And they borrowed it, exactly. And you say the corruptness and amount of corruption behind this is insane. It is insane that, and it's no one's reporting this. This is huge.
I mean, when you mess with people's money like that, I feel like you should be subjected to the worst form of torture.
Yeah.
Like, it's one of those things that Barack Obama should just be tied to a pole and everyone gets one free punch to the face.
Yeah.
Just every American.
Yeah.
And then whoever gets that deciding, kill factor blow gets a medal.
Yeah. I completely agree. But it's amazing how protected these people are. Like, I don't understand why, as a conservative, obviously we know the answer to this, but as a Democrat or a middle of the roader or a leaning left or even a liberal, why you don't want to know that your fucking representatives are robbing us blind? Here's what I find funny. They're becoming richer and richer and richer, and we're becoming poorer and poorer and poorer, and you don't care about that. You don't care. I don't understand why the fuck anybody would want to be a person here in America and not care that the representatives are robbing hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars that they shouldn't be getting.
But they're paying for all the illegals, right?
Yeah.
At least the illegals get to stay, right?
No.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's crazy.
Okay, so I'm going to go into now the backlash of the MeToo movement that we've been seeing. And it's really the backlash against feminism, really. I want really everyone out there to think of a happy feminist. Name one. Name one that is truly happy. Of course, they're going to outwardly portray that they're happy, but name one that is actually happy. You can't. They're not happy because your social cues as feminine, you get everything. There, before I go crazy, they're ruining young girls' minds. Feminism.
Yeah.
They're making them. They're propping them up with this false belief system.
Right.
That when they get older and they get subjugated to all the world's craziness, they're basically in a shell. I'm trying to do this without freaking people out. That this is what causes that safe space culture.
Right.
Oh my God, I need a safe space right now because they're not used to normal behavior. They're not used to the normalness of life. Like they think that they're propped up like they're some kind of fucking princess in a kingdom. Look, get the key word there is kingdom, not queendom. There is no man that married a queen that became king of the kingdom. It's not like that. It's a king marries a queen and she becomes queen of the kingdom. There's a hierarchy to the shit,
right?
And they're trying to buck it.
Yeah.
Oh, we're gonna have a big talk after this. Oh yeah. Listen, I'm a 5th degree black belt in this shit. I have a fucking counter argument to everything that you want to say to me. I want to have my own relationship podcast. I really do. I want to have call-ins. I can go back and forth on this forever.
Instead of Dr. Drew, Dr. Sal. But
it is.
So listen, I always say this. Go ahead. Go ahead. I don't want to interrupt you. Go ahead. You're on a roll.
And I say this because I'm not defending this guy. I don't even like this shit comedian Aziz Ansari. But if you guys saw the thing,
I know who he is. He's an idiot. But.
Well, the whole thing came out. He sexually abused this girl. Blah blah blah. But then when they got into it, it turned out that it was a bad date and some bad sex. Nothing was put on this.
Nothing forced her.
Afterwards, she felt bad about it because it wasn't good. He didn't even use I'm sorry, a comedian, you let her fuck me. He didn't do any of that.
Right.
He was just being a guy.
Right.
He was being a guy. She's like, oh, when we were fooling around, sorry to get vulgar and graphic. When we were fooling around, he would grab my hand and put it on his dick. All right, let me fess up, guys. Let me fess up to every single sexual altercation I ever had with a woman that was consensual. I probably pulled that move. It's just like, and it blows my mind that you can't even get away with normal behavior now.
It's funny, and I'm going to let you go, but I saw this at this Morristown women's MeToo movement, and our new jerk off, complete creepy bastard, Governor Murphy, his wife came up there. I didn't even know he was married. I never saw her before. But the first thing she came up with, as all the New Jersey asswipes who had nothing better to do on Saturday went there, she came up on the podium and she said, I'm so-and-so Murphy. I'm the governor's wife. When I was so-and-so, I was assaulted by a man. And everybody was like, ooh. And I'm like, is that how everything starts out? Listen, how come this? How come everything in Hollywood or everything that was females were done by liberal men? And they throw it on us. Like they're trying to, like we're the guys who did it. I didn't do anything to you. I don't want to hear your nonsense. Go see a shrink if you got a problem. Go blame the man who did it. Why do I got to know your sexual history of every fucking thing that happened bad to you in your life? I don't care. I didn't do it to you. Either did my boy Sal, either did my buddies here on Facebook, neither of the friends I grew up with. But instead, we got to hear your nonsense about, hey, listen, if I got ass raped by a priest, God forbid, when I was 8 years old, no one would give a shit. No one would care.
Well, exactly. Relating that stuff to the story with President Trump that came out that he paid, or I'm not. I saw stories that it wasn't true, stories that it was true. Let's just say that it was true that he paid the porn star for sex. That lady Stormy was her name. That porn star. If women get upset, this is the thing I don't get with women that get upset with men that have sex with hookers. They're paying for it. It's not like he's having sex with the babysitter who has a relationship that watches his kids. He's going to meet a woman. He's going to pay for an encounter. He's never going to see her again. There is no attachment. Correct. There's none. There's no emotional attachment whatsoever. And that's the thing that women feed on the most is emotions. So why does it bother you so much? He's just going to get a little side. He can't. This is a man thing. We're here to conquer all. It's a woman's job to get one and keep it.
Well, exactly. And my thing is this. And my thing is, it's not really my business, Sal's business, anybody's business. It's his wife's business, if that's true.
But don't even get upset about it.
Right. Well, I don't. And here's what I find funny: those same hypocrites who will say something about President Trump paid a hook. They don't care that Bill Clinton raped chicks, or in his job he had a girl who he used a cigar on who worked for him. Now, if I had done that in my job, I would have been. It's called termination. Yeah. I would have been fired. And my scope of influence is about 1/10 millionth of what Bill Clinton's is. But I would have been fired because I'm some poor schlub with a job that abused a girl that I worked with and I had some power over. Instead, this guy, you liberals are such hypocrites. You still ignore and say, that's in the past. No, it's not. It's bullshit. But you'll sit here and rag on President Trump, who, if it's true, like Sal mentioned, it's none of my business.
And this is the backlash, because I feel bad, because I really do feel bad for the women that are going to be going out into the workforce now. The backlash from this movement is you're not going to get hired from a man. You're going to have to, only work in women businesses? How is that going to go?
Right.
Every guy is going to be so afraid to hire a pretty girl. It's going to be it's not even going to be funny.
Yeah, because
it's just not going to happen. They're like, she's going to throw an allegation at me, and I'm going to be screwed over. My business, my whole life is ruined.
Right. And
why do it?
Right.
Why do it?
You can't do anything anymore. And like Sal said,
why hire a woman? Doesn't make sense to me.
Normal sexual behavior, is now being frowned upon. What are you supposed to do?
There's an app. I wish I knew the name of it. There's a one-night stand contract app. And they use it now for all sexual encounters. If you want, you have to sign the sexual encounter app to make sure that it's all consensual.
Holy shit!
This is the point we're getting.
This is the litigious society that we're being involved in. This is insanity. Could you imagine this? Think about how funny this is. Let's think about the whole script or the movie rolling like this is a movie. You're in your life. You're meeting. Obviously you're single. Sal's single. I'm not, obviously, but you're single, and you're talking to this girl. You're hitting on her, and things are going well. And she's like, "Let's go back to your place." You go back there, and as soon as you're ready to get down, you break out a contract. Say, "Could you please sign here?" Yeah. First off, you need a pen available. I don't know where the fuck you find one of those. And then you probably have
an app. It's an app, so you use your finger.
Oh, use your finger. Oh, so this is what you got to do. This is complete insanity. What's going on in our world today? It's nuts. It's like I said this once. It's like we're living in bizarro world. It's completely screwed up what these people are doing to normal, traditional American values in society. They are shitting and pissing on everything that is good and right about our country. Everything.
Oh my God.
It's nuts.
Yeah, it blows me away. And I just feel like it was something that it started in jest, and it was a good cause, and it's right, it's righteous. I'm not saying that it's wrong. It's a righteous movement. It's just now they didn't look towards the outcome, the backlash of it.
No, it kind of like went on a runaway train.
There's backlash to everything in life. And
Yep.
yeah, you're right. It went on a runaway train,
Yeah.
and then it kind of got at it's to them now. It's not even the backlash yet. The backlash is going to be years from now. We're just, I feel bad.
It's really hard.
I really feel bad because I love women. I don't want this to happen to them.
Well, this topic for me is really difficult not to discuss for emotional reasons. Discuss because on Facebook, a lot of the people that I talk to, the women and my wife, are very strong, independent women who aren't like this. So it's hard for me to be around people, women specifically. Well, men, forget it. I can't deal with men at all. These little bitches. I can't deal with these guys. These pussified men. I don't even want to be around them. But the women that Sal mentions, I don't know what that's like.
I tried to tell them because they're special groups,
right?
Like my aunt and her friends and these people. I tried to tell them they're the outliers, and they're like the half of the 1% that is, dare I say,
good,
normal,
good, just.
The rest of them are just straight up living. They're like, you're right. They are living in a movie. It's a movie for women, directed by them, starring them, co-starring them, produced by them, and they live in this bubble, and it's fucking scary.
Right.
Like, I'm done.
Well, I
just lost every woman viewer.
No, actually, I think it's good. I have been, not in the presence, like when I'm out in public, you do see some of these women out there, and you laugh because you're like, I can't believe people actually act. But listen, it's no different. The shock I have with a woman acting like this, I think I have bigger shock when I see a man acting like this. I'm just like, you're silly. You're like
I say this to men. We're the ones who created that behavior in them.
Right.
We created this behavior in women. It's our fault. We need to really check ourselves before, obviously we need to check them, but you need to really draw out your man card and say, who is the dominant species here? What are we doing?
Well, I have a theory on this, and then I'll get your feeling, and we'll go to something other. I think it starts way before that. I think fathers, not all fathers, fathers with their daughters are completely, I think, I mean, I can't speak for the rest of the country because I don't live there, but here in America, I'm not here in America, here in New Jersey, I see how fathers treat their daughters. Like, they call them princesses, which always freaked me the fuck out.
My point. They get into the
because think about this, people. Let's think about this. You have a 55-year-old man or 50-year-old man who has a 18-year-old, 16, 18-year-old daughter. So here's a man who's made it financially successful in his life, and he gives his daughter whatever she wants. So now this girl goes to college, and he pays for her college, buys her a car, gives her spending money, gives her a credit card. Now this girl becomes 21 and becomes a college graduate. Now she goes out and gets a job. So what does she do now? She meets a 21-year-old or 22-year-old or 24-year-old young man who cannot aspire to that level because that man is 30 years his senior. So this kid's struggling. You know, he graduates college. He's maybe got a job making a fifth or a sixth of what her father makes. And this girl wants to be treated by this young man like the way her father treated her. And when she's not, she calls the guy a loser or a bum.
I was just gonna say.
And then what happens is the father substitutes himself for this young guy and subsidizes it, and she's fucked for the rest of her life.
As a guy in a relationship, you always got to be cooler than your girl. Always.
Right.
The second you lose the coolness factor, it's over.
Correct.
She's going on to someone cooler and someone better. That's how it goes.
This is going to sound terrible, and in my younger days, this is what I used to say.
But that's us. Again, I blame us for them thinking like that. Always it comes back to men. Don't ever forget that, guys. Well, it's always our fault.
This is going to be horrible to say, and this is probably why I've had many failed relationships in my youth. But when I was younger, I always said I always dated women who liked me more than I liked them. And I know that sounds ridiculous. I always did when I was younger because just like Sal said, to his point, you got to be cooler. Like, the minute that you start, women, one thing I say about women,
you always got to be in charge.
They're like black widows.
Yes. Oh my God.
Meaning that when they sense weakness, they clamp onto your friggin' jugular and suck you dry like a vampire, and you're done. Then they're going on to the next guy, and then they're heartbroken and crying in your beer, so to speak. That's just fact. And it happens. And what happens with a man, that happens too, because it happened to me, it's happened to Sal, it happened to every guy out there. It also happened to women. I'm not saying it didn't. But when that happens to a guy, it takes a long time for you to recover because your manhood is crushed, your spirit is broken. And then what happens is this. It's like a muscle that's torn. When you work out, your muscle tears, it comes back stronger. When a man's heart is broken like that, he comes back more callous, more like, I don't give a fuck. And that's unfortunate. Where women, that doesn't really play it. Men's egos in that respect are more fragile than a woman's because you're a man. You can't be broken like that. And then when you are, you recover, but you come back like a muscle. Like, I'm stronger now. And you come back a crazy maniac.
Because we're all based on ego and logic.
Yeah, exactly.
And women are based all on emotions. And when they suck us down like that, they take our emotions away. That's when they win. That's what they want.
And but listen,
like, goddamn, I'm starting a show just for us men. Call in anything I can help you with.
Yeah, but we're by essence, and we're gonna drop this topic, get back into politics.
Just know it's your fault. Just know it's our fault.
Listen, we're cavemen. We got hair on our bodies. We go out and we wear animal fur. We run after. We kill fucking animals to eat and give it to our. This is life.
We got to be better. Make sure you're always checking them. Don't let them get away with nothing.
All right.
Okay.
All right. So now we're gonna switch. Yes. Women, we still love you guys, and I want to just say.
Listen, I was raised by 3 women.
Yes.
I had 3 different perspectives, and I'm glad I gravitated to the strong business, don't take shit from nobody woman.
Correct.
Instead of the conniving asshole guilt trip woman or the drunk whore. Right. I'm glad I didn't go those 2 ways. I'm glad I went the business strong.
Correct.
So thank God for that. Thank God for women.
All you people who follow me on Facebook know that my mom was my life. My mom was the shit. She was the best. She was my best friend growing up. She was.
Is your mom your best friend, Sal?
Oh, well, yeah. Well, you are. Yeah, for sure.
My mom was one of these women that loved me to death, would be the first one to lay an ass whooping on me, hit me in the head with a wooden spoon, crack me if I fucked up. So, but I love my mom to death. So our interpretations that we discussed come from good places.
Yeah, without a doubt.
From good places.
I love women.
So,
I would never be able to live without them.
Absolutely. And I got a great wife. My wife is phenomenal.
We're talking about just the nature of it all.
All right, so let's move on. There's something that we were talking about illegals before, but there's something that's falling through the cracks here. I want to get Sal's opinion because no one ever talks about this. And this is something that is concerning to me that we don't focus on. And I'm going to give you an example. Everyone knows about illegals and refugees and DACA and all this bullshit. We know how many are here. There's a lot. But here's the scary part. And I came across this and I was thinking about it. I had a discussion with this guy at the coffee shop who's an older man, who's a conservative. And I said to him, here's what happens. Every 10 years, the government does a census. So what they do is they mail something to your house, you fill it out. And it doesn't discriminate or decipher if you're a citizen or illegal. So if you're illegal, you can fill it out. And here's where the danger lies. You know what these censuses do? These censuses shape the population of that district and how much representation and money you get. So what happens is, let's say, for example, there's 2 districts. There's District A that has 100,000 people. They have 50,000 illegals, or 75, or I'm sorry, whatever the number may be, and then they have citizens. Then District B has none, and they only have 50,000 citizens, and they have 50,000 legal citizens. When that gets representation of money and representation in government, District A gets 2 representatives who are probably going to be liberals. District B gets 1. So voting gets completely screwed on. You take this is one place in one state. Take this across all 50 states, all counties, all districts. Now you're having a high. Why do you think these liberal Democrats want all these illegals to be interpreted? For that reason alone, money and representation. It's incredibly dangerous, and we got to keep an eye on it, because even if Trump gets rid of the illegals that are here, they still are going to be represented in Congress and the Senate in financial devastation to our country. So that's crazy.
It's like with everything, the underlying factors, always money.
Yep.
Always financial.
Yep. And then there's a couple of things I want to talk about, and it's 2 specifically, and it's really not being talked about much in the media, but we've talked about it before. But proof came out, and 2 things I want to discuss. And I'm not going to talk a lot about them because we've discussed them before, but proof came out that the Department of Justice and the FBI has shown specifically that this group of individuals in the upper echelon of the FBI and DOJ, and we know their names. We knew that Holder and Lynch were gone now, but first off, they showed that Lynch exonerated Hillary in an email before she was even spoken to, which is insane, people. That doesn't happen to anybody here in America. No private citizen, before they even not even gets arrested or indicted, gets fucking they're clean. That's nuts. But then we find out that
these lost FBI texts, right? Is that where you're going?
Exactly where I'm going. And here's the crazy part. Besides all of them, I'm going to talk about that in a second, but every single guy, Rod Rosenstein. Now, these are people that are huge in the FBI and DOJ. Andrew McCabe, he's the assistant FBI director. Ben Orr, he's the Department of Justice guy. Weissman, Andrew Weissman, he's the head FBI attorney. Peter Strzok, he was the head FBI. I think he was the international terrorist guy. Comey, Mueller, we know all these people. These people were corrupt to the day is long. Now, to Sal's point, these 50. Now, here's what I don't understand. Peter Strzok and Lisa Page are FBI employees, pretty high up there. One was the lead attorney, and the other one was she was the mistress of this guy, Peter Strzok. Yeah. Over the time of 2 years, 50,000 emails. That means these people were sending 70 emails or texts a day on this one individual, Donald Trump. Think about this, people. We live normal lives. Have you ever sent 70 emails or texts to anybody in your life? I haven't. 70 on your job? When did they work? When did they fucking work their job? Yeah. These are high-ranking officials who have important jobs.
I get what you're saying. Yeah, you're right. How do you do it while you're working?
And you're focusing on it. Like, when I'm on my job, my wife will text me. You know what I write back? Hey, babe, I'm working. I'll get to you when I'm done. These people are talking about this like I'll tell you what it reminds me of. I don't know how old Peter Strzok is, and I don't know how old Lisa Page is, but for argument's sake, I'll say they're in their 40s. They remind me of like 12-year-old kids who are at school all day texting each other. And this guy is a high-ranking on the FBI list of importance. He's probably number 5. She's probably number 8.
It's crazy. And then that's the thing that kills me. Like, why does Trump disrespect the FBI? Are you guys not only paying attention to one side of the story? Because you got to be.
It's completely nuts. I don't get it. I can't fathom even any normal relationship, wife, girlfriend. If you're at work and you're busy, I can't be answering for example, if my wife, when she didn't like Obama, if I'm working in my job and I'm entrenched in what I'm doing, and she texts me like, Gary, can you believe this Obama did this? I'd be like, yeah, babe, we'll talk about it when we get home. I'm busy. That would be it. Story over. One text, one response.
Not 70 back and forth.
70 a day over the course of 2 years. 50,000 of them. It's insanity.
It's like
the FBI lost them.
I was gonna say they're probably like, okay, he ate a tuna on fry this morning.
Oh, he's an asshole.
All right, he's watching Fox and what the hell could you be possibly typing to each other?
And when you read the actual text that the FBI didn't lose, this scared me that an FBI guy who's that high ranking talked like a fucking 14-year-old in the schoolyard to his girlfriend.
Oh my God.
It shocked me how infantile this guy sounded. It was like he was every day. This guy who's getting paid a lot of money with a pension, he's like in the corner having a temper tantrum. I would like to get this guy and smack him in his face. He's acting like a complete tool bag.
So funny,
an idiot.
Right. I got one last thing.
Go ahead.
It's nothing.
I got a few. Go ahead. Go do your thing.
Mine's not pertaining to anything to politics, though. So
okay.
I keep with the politics.
Yeah, I was going to say one thing. I don't know if you saw this today. One of the heads of the House GOP guys came in and said that, never heard this before, people. Under President Trump, this guy came out and said, my department needs zero money this quarter. No money. And they're shocked because his predecessor for Obama looked for $250 million. So think about that, people. In a mere 1 year, which basically 1 year to the day, Obama's guy wanted $250 million for the quarter. This guy said, I don't need any money. Zero. And the Democrats came and criticized him for not asking for money. They're like, oh, he's lying. He goes, no, I don't need money. We have plenty of money. We don't need any money. And so how could you find that to be a negative thing. He's not asking for any taxpayer money for his department. I look at that as a huge victory. Huge. No money's coming out of our pocket, Sal's pocket, your pocket, to pay for this fucking organization that we don't even know what they do. And basically he said, this guy Mulvaney goes, we don't need money because they were so inefficient and robbed so much money from the American public. How is that a bad thing? And then the other thing is, and listen, I know this gets heated sometimes when we talk about this, and I'm sorry. I'm not talking about the California. I feel bad for you Californians who are conservative, and I know they're out there because we talk to you guys. But your state.
Let's just bash another location.
Your state, I don't know, like, two things happened. Your Attorney General, Javier Becerra, came out and said that he will prosecute any employer that works with ICE. I'm like, how does this guy get away with that? And then today, the Governor Jerry Brown passed a law. He signed a law or a bill that let illegal aliens register to vote. And so that's another basic fuck you to the federal law of our land. And so, and I'm not shitting on Californians. I know, listen, I live in New Jersey. We live in New Jersey. It's a blue state. It sucks here lately. So we know what it's like. But now we have another shitty governor who's going to probably act just like Governor Brown. And I feel bad for you people. But liberal left in California is out of their mind. They don't even care about law of the land. They want this to be like Somalia or like where everybody goes wild and goes crazy and nobody cares. I just don't get it. It's nuts.
God, hopefully they just secede from the nation and we never have to see them ever
again. Well, here's my thing. If California seceded, right?
I just say it for fun because I would love it because we would win every election.
Yes,
here on out.
That is true. But how long do you think? Here, I'll give you my prediction. How long do you think?
3 months.
3 months
before they come back.
Either come back or they just fall apart.
There'll be a party period of 1 month, an oh shit factor of 1 month, and then we need to get back third month. So 3 months.
Well, they would be bankrupted.
Yeah.
And what would happen is, and here's Sal's prediction is good. I would say they would kind of be fraudulent that they could probably last another like 2 months. But I think in the sixth month, it to me would be the day where when the welfare checks stopped coming.
What do you mean I gotta work?
Right. When they stopped coming and when you could, here's what I would love about California. And this is, and
I got bad hips. I can't work.
Well, I would be I'm bashing Hollywood a lot today. But once you were in California and a majority of areas where the welfare checks stopped coming, the Hollywood mansions would be getting raided. You want to talk about? Could you imagine them climbing over walls? The police would have nothing to do with it.
It'll be their housekeepers too, telling their families.
Yeah,
like, I already got the access. Just let's go.
Yeah, and just robbing every Hollywood jerk off in a mansion, or every businessman like Jeff Bezos. If he's living in California, they would be inundated by crazy maniacs. It would be. You know what it would be like? You ever see Mad Max? That's what it would be. Yeah. Mad Max going on in California. They would have that shit going on. Exactly. If they had that area, people would be kicking down doors and just doing home invasions on these rich bastards, stealing everything they have, stealing their Ferraris, their Lamborghinis, taking them.
Tonight on Thunderdome, we have Jerry Brown versus Dianne Feinstein.
Yeah, that's and a group from
winner gets to eat a slice of bread,
and the Malibu homes are getting robbed by people from Inwood. Or like, from Englewood or wherever. That's what would be happening. But anyway, God, what else you got last?
I always end my stuff with technology because I'm so scared by it. Google and Facebook are patenting mind control technology. By that, I mean, you think it, and it's mostly for autonomous vehicles. So they wouldn't be computerized anymore, so people would feel in control. But no buttons, no nothing, no wheels. You would just control. I want to go straight. Okay, I'm going to make a left. Okay.
That's nuts.
Here's the crazy part, and not to get into crazy conspiracy theory, but apparently when that UFO landed in the 50s or the 40s, whatever, inside of it there was no buttons or nothing like that. That's why they couldn't figure out for the longest time. Like, these guys have like some kind of mind control technology.
Right? Yeah.
And people are like, "Hey, the UFO didn't freaking land there. You're crazy." It did.
Well, you're the tech guy. I'm not.
Well, it's just like now
think about this.
We classified all that stuff, so we know what UFO.
What happens if this happens? What happens if some guy pisses you off? You're like, I want to smash into him.
It's a crazy thing.
Think about
They
that.
got to put all kinds of safety factors within the car so people can't use their minds to go
Well,
crazy.
how you gonna do that? You gotta get like some guy cuts you off. I wish I could smash this guy. You just go. That's nuts.
But that's what they're trying to patent is mind control.
Right.
And it's like when we watched Black Mirror. Remember we watched that first episode of Black Mirror? He went into the video game. What did he do? He just put that little thing on.
Yes, it's true.
It's going to be something along those lines.
It's true.
Like that. People are like, oh, I can't even vision something. What do you wear? Something? Trust me, it's going to be something like you just stick to your temple.
That's all it was. It was like a little pod.
Yeah, you
like
just
a pad.
suction cup it to your brain.
Exactly, suction cup, and it did.
And it works.
Yeah, it did. And so
that's all I'm ending. I'm just saying it's crazy that they're even patenting something like this.
Sal always talks about the tech stuff, and I find that fascinating because I don't know a lot about it. But I like to end on business and like with Trump successes. And I don't know if you guys heard. 'Cause let me tell you something. How this wasn't the number one all over the news. Because if it was Obama, they would be lauding the guy. But Apple just announced that they are moving all of their because of the tax plan. They specifically asked the vice president of Apple why they were doing it. And he said, which I know the liberals hated and the media hated, he said, because of Trump's beneficial tax plan, we're moving back to the United States. It will bring over 20,000 jobs over the next 5 years. This year it will bring in $80 billion. And over the course of these 5 years, it will increase $350 billion to the American economy. One corporation, which is probably happens to be one of the top corporations, if not the top in the world, $350 billion. So think about that, people. How could anybody not find that to be amazing? I don't even know how the media is not, because they hate the guy so much.
No, this is the argument, and this you can't even get through to them because this is what they
Correct.
think in their head. You ready?
Correct.
Who's the iPhone going to cost? $3,000.
Yeah,
What's it going to cost?
Well,
How much is it going to be?
they're going to buy it anyway because they all
Exactly. But they still will argue for no reason.
Well, I always find it funny. Like they talk about how much they hate capitalism, how much they hate, corporations in America. They say it flat out.
And everything they own is a corporation.
And everything they own is Apple, and like Apple phone, iPads, and they're talking to you, and they're looking.
They're wearing H&M clothes. They're wearing this. They're wearing that.
Well, you're laughing
all corporations.
because you're saying to them like, you're.
Did you make your clothes?
Right? You're a hypocrite.
Are you a?
It's a joke when I hear this. Like they are contributing to the number one company in the world that stands for everything they're against. But they're supporting them.
Do you have your own farm? How do you eat?
Correct. But that goes for everything with liberals. That's why liberals, if we have a liberal on here watching, which I doubt it, but if we do, and for my conservative friends out there, I'm going to include you on this. That's why we all laugh at you every day. We laugh at your silliness. We laugh at your ignorance. We laugh at your brainwashed minds because do you understand how foolish you look? When you come out and say, I'm anti-capitalism, I'm anti-business, I'm anti-corporation, I'm anti-America, and then everything you do is exactly who you hate, you support.
And they're saying it to a corporation to get on television.
Correct. You told on a Facebook post because you
CNN,
think they're left, you think they're cool. They don't care about you. They're doing or the same thing with Hollywood. I'm going to shit on you guys again. Everyone in Hollywood was like, oh, against the MeToo people. I'm against the abuse of women. For all these years, what did they do? They supported. They capitulated. They covered you. They threw people under the bus. They are talking about everybody they supported, which makes you look stupid.
Yes.
Stupid. To me, here's my thing.
Silly bitches.
Just shut the fuck up and go about your life and stop whining because we're tired of making fun of you people. It's too easy. It's comical. And it's funny. The people who come on here who see our podcast that go against Sal and I, first off, you get torched by all our viewers because they bring out your hypocrisy and your ignorance like I spoke about. And then you try to start with us too, and we just rip you to shreds for the fools you are.
Yes.
So with that being said, it's time to eat. I'm starving. So we're going out some Bob Marley.
We're exiting out of the blue states, baby.
For my boy Sal, this is Gary Gabagool. Everyone, thanks for watching. Can't wait to hear your comments. For my boy Squishy up there, for Dempsey below, for my wife, have a great night. We'll talk to you next week. Thanks for watching, guys. Talk to you soon. Oh, my ass was fucking falling asleep. This fucking started wearing off at the end. I started getting stuffy all of a sudden.
Did you? Oh, you get the Dayquil wear off.